Safety regulations. Look at the changes. Who would have thought we came so far? My name is Peyton Phillips, and I will discuss these developments with you. Changes throughout the years involving safety regulations have been greatly affected by previous experiences. Today, safety has been taken to the extreme. All safety precautions are being put in place to secure safety around the world. We are currently living in a worldwide pandemic. Families, businesses, restaurants, and the economy as a whole are struggling to get out of the virus stable and healthy. The pandemic is affecting different people in different ways. Some people have lost their jobs, others experience loneliness and loss. The pandemic is changing safety greatly. Many laws such as social distancing, limited gatherings, wearing a mask, and limited travel have been put in place to keep citizens safe. Even after this virus dies down, these safety laws will stick around and impact safety altogether. Lives and families have been altered with the sickness. The pandemic is going to impact safety for the future. In the 1990s, seatbelt laws were a huge step in safety. There were many models considered, but automakers decided to go with the automatic safety seatbelts because they were way more affordable. Customers immediately began arguing that automatic seatbelts were unsafe, potentially trapping passengers inside. Car makers agreed to add a release latch, which drivers could easily disconnect. While driving, it prevented approximately 4,800 deaths and 120,000 serious injuries among front seat occupants. According to seatbelt statistics, before the seatbelt law, only 14% of Americans drove while being safe. Seatbelts have been credited with saving more than 1 million lives and are considered to be one of the most cost-efficient public health inventions ever. With the seatbelt, we grew in the department of safety components that come with the car. David Hostler saved many lives that came with the invention of seatbelts. In the 1980s to the 1960s, speed limits advanced, and the knowledge and safety we have about driving a car increased. The cause of speed limits was due to the cost of rising fuel prices and caused many states to start adopting speed limit laws to save money and resources in the early 1970s. President Richard Nixon agreed to a national speed limit of 55 miles per hour for all states in 1974. This law went into effect. The changes were huge. According to seatbelt statistics, America saw its traffic fatality rate drop from 4.28 per million miles traveled in 1972 to 2.73 in 1983. This slowed down the speed of drivers on the road, causing less accidents and aggressive drivers. But most citizens did not accept this law passively. There had been many debates about freedom versus regulation in regards to speed limits. Some states, such as Montana and Nevada, have historically opposed restrictive speed limit laws and imposed minimal fines for non-compliance. Many people believe speed limits were a way of trying to control the citizens, but overall, the impact of speed limits speaks for itself. Safety standards continued to be a focus for America. In the 1930s through the 1920s, crime, poverty, and safety standards were ignored. The Irish and the Italians were unable to get good-paying jobs, leading to increased crime on the streets. Eliot Ness changed the industry of law enforcement by coming up with new ways to track and stop criminals. Eliot Ness worked to end Al Capone's reign. He stopped illegal activities by aggressively enforcing prohibition laws against his organization. Eliot Ness changed the safety of many families by removing Al Capone from the streets. Eliot Ness changed the field of law enforcement. Impacts on safety precautions were fueled by the devastating Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire. During the Gilded Age in 1911, the Shirtwaist Factory was a devastating event that took the lives of 146 young workers. This New York City fire led to reforms and new laws that had been put in place to better protect the safety and health of workers. Many children were working in the factories, doing dangerous and tedious work. The building was tight and cramped with bad working conditions. The workers' impoverishment negatively impacted the conditions of their working environment. The outcome of the fire opened the eyes of management companies and the government. It brought to light the idea of fire alarms installed in all public buildings. The labor unions forced management to take responsibility for workers' safety by adopting the Life Safety Code in all 50 states, all public doors opening outwards, and putting sprinkler systems in place. These safety adjustments were put in place to protect the citizens' safety without having experienced this devastating event, these laws and adjustments might not have been made. The Commission's finding ultimately led to the passage of more than 30 health and safety laws.